बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मा.
So let's see the configuration of this VTP here. So in this VTP configuration, I'm going to take 3 switches here, and I'm going to configure each switch in different mode, server, client, and transparent. And then I'm going to create a VLAN 10, 20, 30 on the server switch. And as per the concepts, what I discussed is I should not see this VLAN information here, but I should see this information will be passed on or forwarded by the transparent switch to the next switch. So I should see that information on automatically on this one. So I create it here, and I should verify here. That's where I'm verifying. Now, similar way, what I'll be doing, I'm going to create some VLANs here. Let's say VLAN 100 and 200 on the transparent switch. And what I should see is I should not see this information on any other switch. Of course, you can also connect one transparent also to verify. Okay, just 3 modes we are verifying, but basically this is the option to verify. So we decided to run the VTP protocol. Again, as I said, it is a proprietary one. One more thing you need to know, basically the VTP is going to synchronize only the VLAN database in the initial versions, again, VLAN database, but not the ports, remember, because most people think it will automatically shift the ports. That's not the case, because normally we just assume that maybe you have port number 1, 2, 3, 4, these ports in the VLAN 10, and it's not compulsory that port number 1, 2, 3, 4 on the switch 2 maybe in the VLAN 20, right? Maybe in the VLAN 30, right? So it's not like on every floor every switch have the same port, same VLAN, right? It's not mandatory. So basically assigning the ports is something you have to do physically, remember that. So VLAN database is nothing but VTP is not going to assign the ports, so it will not assign the ports, remember this. Okay, because you normally, maybe when I say VLAN, you might be thinking, many people normally think that way, but it's not going to assign the ports. So you have to go to each and every switch to assign the ports. Obviously you have to do that, but still you want VLAN database should be same. So of course it's not a big use if you see, because instead of going and configuring VTP, it's easy, you just go and configure VTP. Instead of that, you create a VLANs. But considering future requirements, it's not easy job to go and create VLAN on every switch again. So just to make it simple, we'll see this. Many companies, many people don't really use this option in most cases, what I have seen. But here we'll be using it and we'll be verifying it as well. So the host name, I'm going to change this to switch 1. And the switch 2, I'm going to change it to switch 2. And on the switch 3, I'm going to change it to switch 3. Hostname will be changing to switch 3 here. So now in this setup, I'm going to configure the switch 1 as a trunk link. So the configuration wise, so the basic prerequisite is we need to configure the links as a trunk links. So trunking is a prerequisite because the VTP messages, the VTP advertisements will go over the trunk link only if this particular link is a trunk. So the links connecting between the switches has to be configured as a trunk with the same encapsulation, whatever. So trunking is like a prerequisite for VTP to work. Of course, in the production scenarios, you definitely have trunk links, because without trunk links, how you are going to communicate between same VLAN users, right? I'm going to configure the trunk, switch port mode trunk on the switch 1, as well as on the switch 2. On the switch 2, I got 2 ports, port number 20 and 21. So we'll say switch port mode trunk. And on the switch 3 also, I'm going to configure switch port number 21, switch port mode trunk. Okay. So once we configure this, all the links will be trunk links. So if you want to verify, we can verify on the switch 2. If I say show interface trunk, you can see these are the 2 ports which I'm able to see as a trunk port. So that's the first thing. Now, once we configure the trunking, next we need to configure the VTP. VTP configuration is again simple. So basically, VTP configuration is something like we need to configure the domain name. So domain name is important. So we need to make sure that we configure the same domain name in all the switches. So if I'm using VTP domain name, let's say CCI, that's the name, and again it is a case sensitive, and this domain name must match in all the switches for the VTP to synchronize. So if I use a domain name CCI here, and if I use a domain name CCNA here, the domain name is not matching, which means the VTP is not going to synchronize. To ensure that you are using the same domain name, this is the only minimum configuration you have to do. Of course, additional configurations, you can configure something like password. Like you can say that if my switch is having, probably using some password. So if the password matches on all the switches, then only I want the VTP to synchronize. So this is to prevent any unauthorized switch. Typically, an attacker can simply bring one switch and connect that to the network, and he can start propagating the false information. So just to prevent that, you can configure the VTP password. And of course, the version also you can configure. Version 2 is preferable over version 1. Default it runs version 1. Again, the few differences, like version 2 is more optimized one. So basically, you can change to version 2, but basically this command is not compulsory. But if you're using version 2, make sure that you're using version must match on all the switches. That is also a condition. And finally, the one command is the mode. Now you want the switch in which mode? So I want this switch 1 to be in the server mode, and switch 2 should be in the transparent mode, and switch 3 should be in the client mode. So if you verify the configuration on the 3 switches, you can see the configuration is exactly the same. The first 3 commands will not change. It's the same because you must match the VTP domain name, password, and the version compulsory. And in the switch 1, I'm going to say it is a server mode. Default is server mode only. So even if I don't give this command, default is server. But on the switch 2, I'm going to make it as a client because I don't want to make any changes. Sorry, on the switch 3 actually it is switch 3. And on the switch 2, I'm going to make it as a transparent mode. So I use 3 switches in 3 different modes for verification point of view. But of course, in the real scenarios, you can have any number of switches connected like this. So basically, I'm not adding that many switches here. But basically, you can still have any number of switches, and you can add this as a client, this as a server, like that. You can just make any number of switches. So let's quickly configure this on all 3 switches. I'm going to say VTP mode, VTP domain name is CCI. You can see the name changes from null to CCI. And the VTP password, let's say Cisco123 is a password. VTP version, I'm going to use 2 versions normally supported, 1 and 2. Default is 1. If you can skip this version also, but 2 is better. And one more thing, VTP mode is server. Of course, I changed earlier into client earlier, so now it is in the server mode. Now similar way, I'm going to switch to. So moving on to the switch 2, we'll say VTP domain name CCI, VTP mode is VTP password you have to give Cisco123, VTP version, and VTP mode is transparent. So if you observe here, domain name it says already CCI because normally, as per the normal behavior, the default name is null. And here we created a domain name as CCI. So when you configure this link as a trunk link, it will start sending the VTP messages. So automatically it will override this name as CCI automatically. That is a kind of default behavior as well. So that's the reason you can just simply ignore this because it says domain name is already set to CCI, but I did not configure domain name CCI earlier. So it's a kind of default behavior. So likewise, if I go to switch 3, I think on the switch 3 is switch 2, I have to change that transparent, right? Yeah, transparent. Now moving on to the switch 3, I'm going to say VTP domain name is CCI, VTP version 2, VTP password is Cisco123, and VTP mode I'm going to make it as a client. So again, as I said, in the client mode, you cannot create the VLANs. If I go and create the VLANs, you can see it clearly says the VLAN configuration is not allowed when the device is in the client mode. Okay, so now the verification part. So we'll try to create the VLANs on the switch 1, right? That's what we will try to verify. If I say show VLAN, we already have some VLANs here created. I'll create some more VLANs. Let's say I'm going to create more VLANs, VLAN 10, VLAN 60, VLAN 70, like this. And what I should see automatically the switch 3 should get that information, right? So if you see in the switch 3, I should see that information should be updated. So if I say show VLAN brief or show VLAN, here you can see these VLANs are automatically present on the switch 3, whereas I did not do anything. So again, remember, assigning the ports is not possible because this is a default. This is something you have to do manually. But the main thing is like this synchronization of these VLANs, the VLAN database. And if you verify on the switch 2, what I should see, I should not see, right? That's what I'm expecting, because if you remember, I discussed the transparent is not going to synchronize. Okay, there's no synchronization. Of course, this was in the earlier configurations before I did that. So normally there's no synchronization because I created VLAN 60 and 70. You can see these are not updated here. It's not updated here. And if I try to create a VLAN 100, 200, 300 or 400, let's say. Now whatever the VLANs you create on the transparent switch, this will be local to that particular switch. It will not be synchronized or updated. So I'm creating the VLANs on the switch 2, and if you verify on the switch 1, I should not see those VLANs. Can you see those 100, 200, 300, 400 VLANs? No, because whatever the VLANs you create on the transparent switch or the transparent mode switch, basically that VLAN information will be local to that particular switch only.